No matter where we go, we always make that place better than we found it, which I'm sure some other units could maybe make that claim as well. But I feel that it's a really a legitimate kind of calling card of the 142nd. We are your neighbors, that we live here. We truly are people that you went to high school with, people that live in your neighborhoods, that your kids go to school with, that we are fully entrenched in our communities, and we're active in our communities. We may not often wear our uniforms, and you may not even associate us with our service, but it's a huge, vital part of what we do to serve our community, to serve our state, and then to serve our nation if called upon under a federal mobilization.
So PATRIOT South for us is a joint exercise with civilian law enforcement, mainly on our part, but it's also with our federal, state, and local counterparts for emergency management. When the natural disaster emergency would take place, we would fall in with local law enforcement. So in this case, we're working with Georgia State Police, and we'd work with the county sheriffs and whatever affected areas it would be. And so we would augment and force multiply the law enforcement aspect for establishing security and to take care of the people in the affected area.
WESUP stands for Weapon System Evaluation Program. So while we're here, we're testing not only the missiles themselves, but also the capability of the aircraft, and we're also evaluating the pilot's ability to shoot in accordance with our tactics, techniques, and procedures. We're working out of non-standard facilities, executing non-standard operations within the local airfield as well as in the airspace, all as a result of Hurricane Michael. We're not dealing with a standard base, certainly a non-standard Tyndall Air Force Base, and it's been a real eye-opening experience to see it and a great training experience to be able to operate here locally.
We chose Gulfport, Mississippi because first of all it'll take us away from the flagpole over at Pang, and they have the training facilities that will allow us to do all the necessary training that we have to do. That includes structural live fires, aircraft rescue live fires, also some accident responses. Typically everybody here full-time at the Gulfport CRTC Fire Department works out in the city of Gulfport or Biloxi. Their experience and just the way they do things are a little different than we do in big cities. So we've been able to gain experience off of that, which will help us in our deployment because we'll be at a reduced resources when we're at deployed locations.
Last fiscal year, one of our major accomplishments was our reserve component period. And during that RCP, it was an opportunity for us to deploy really 100 airmen to a variety of locations around the globe. And the effort of our team to prepare them, the work that they did and are still doing while those groups of folks are downrange is just really, truly remarkable. And I couldn't be prouder of the role that our airmen are taking on at their deployed locations around the world.
For some of our Guard members, this isn't their first rodeo. And we are here today to say, more than anything else, that we're going to have your back. Nobody is going to be able to show more appreciation for what you do than the people of Oregon.
Pathfinder is a defense supportive civil authorities exercise. We have about 20 different civilian agencies out here, which include medical professionals and first responders, fire and rescue, and also state agencies. And we have 3 different military units, 2 from the state of Oregon and 1 from Nevada. As disaster responders, we understand that in the chaos of a major disaster, clarity is going to be achieved through the relationships that we've already established ahead of time. And so we're not just trying to create a network of disaster responders, but a community of resilience. And that means that the individuals who come out here for the exercise, hopefully they take the lessons they learn out here back to their communities, and they are able to answer those questions about what would occur here in Oregon if a major event were to happen.
We do air combat training on a daily basis locally. The element that we miss is the dissimilar part because we only have one asset here, F-15Cs at Portland. So by bringing in other groups of aircraft, we're exposed to their missions, their tactics, their procedures, and by working with those assets, we're able to prepare for a actual combat where we might be integrating with those aircraft.
You know, what makes us strong is the support of our local community here in the Portland area. We are 100% reliant on our model built around our drill status members. And the fact that Portland is really a vibrant, thriving community with so many employment opportunities, so many great places to live, that's what attracts people here. Our support from the greater Portland area, including the communities of southwestern Washington, are invaluable to make the 142nd go. And we've really tried to strengthen those bonds between engagement with local elected officials as well as, you know, key volunteers within the community who volunteer and come out and are part of our honorary commander program and continue to build those bonds.
I'm here with the 125th Special Tactics Squadron. We kind of kicked off AT this year with an airfield seizure, and that was the initial FMP, and we transitioned over to individual training, and we focused on just all key, just shoot, move, communicate type stuff. Throughout the country, there's multiple training facilities much like this, so we chose this one specifically for the environment that it is. The weather, the temperature, the humidity, the terrain. It all plays into the location that we're simulating it.
Today I'm leading the water survival training for the 142nd Wing. Every day these guys fly, they put themselves in harm's way, and the reality of going in the water is very high. So it's good to come out here in the natural environment and train. Anytime you can do that, it's the best thing to do. We're just focused on post-egress procedures, what they're going to do under canopy, what they're going to do once they hit the water, if they get dragged, once they release from the parachute, how to get out from underneath the parachute if it does fall on top of them, and then what they're going to do in the raft. And then we're going to then go over like different things that they're going to need to be able to survive. It falls underneath the 5 basic needs: health, personal protection, sustenance, signal, and recovery.
SENTRY SAVANNAH was a large force exercise that's conducted every year there in the state of Georgia. They have a big airspace off the coast where they have airplanes, 5th gen, 4th gen, from all over the country that come and participate. We were invited to come and participated this year, and it was a unique exercise for us because normally we're only able to take the operations folks for those kind of exercises, and this one we were able to take our maintenance folks as well, so we were able to take the entire unit, which is again unique for us. We had a great time. We had 2 crews out there, and they knocked it out of the park. You know, did some great control work, got great experience working with other pilots and other crews, and working on some other equipment, and more specifically taking in those FAA radar feeds that we don't normally use. So all those things, you know, combined together made for a really great exercise.
This year's deployment, the 116th, all deployed together to supplement active duty, basically would be responsible for battle management, command and control. We call that BMC2. They're essentially creating a picture of the battle space for commanders, so they can see where all of our air assets are, what missions they're on, and communicating directly with pilots. I'm just excited for the new skills that they're going to learn, and so I'm eager for them to come back and share that new knowledge.
Checkered flag is an exercise that's held down in Panama City, Florida at Tyndall Air Force Base. Teams of airplanes would be divided into 2 separate teams. There'd be good guys, and then they'd be fighting against the bad guys representing different threats from different countries. And the good guys would basically protect a point, and the bad guys would attack it. We call that defensive counter-air. The big takeaway for us is that the scenarios that we are able to create back home are significantly less complex than the scenarios that we faced while at Checkered Flag. It gives us a much more combat representative scenario to practice the skills that we train to on a day-to-day basis. Most of our newer pilots had never experienced what it would be like to fight in an actual large scenario, which honestly most of our plans in the Air Force involve large numbers of aircraft with every MDS, mission design series, or every different airframe. It was a huge success, and it really provides our guys a much more combat representative environment.
ask our airmen to consider, I say this often, but I don't think it hurts to repeat it, this is really the time and this is the service that they will look back on at some point and they will be hugely proud of. And I ask them to make today great and to be proud of their service today, because there are certainly things that may be present in their daily life that make it hard to balance their drill status responsibilities along with their family, their civilian employment, etc. But I guarantee you that 20, 30 years from now, they're going to forget a lot of other things, but they're not going to forget the experiences, the friendships, the missions that were completed during their time in the 142nd. And I just hope that they can enjoy that and be as excited about it today as I know they will be at some point in the future when they look back on this amazing opportunity to serve their state and nation.